Good morning, and welcome to the Motivational Devotion, where we are merging motivation and spirituality to create a daily dose of confident positivity. I hope that this morning's podcast will help you to be more spiritually and positively motivated so that you can transform your day.
What has it felt like when you failed? I mean, failed at anything at all. I remember what a huge stigma it was for kids if everyone else found out they got an F on an assignment or worse for a whole semester. That would mean summer school. It meant other kids would see that kid as stupid or lazy or a non-achiever or just somehow basically deficient. That shame culture wasn't new to even the 20th century. You can find pictures of classes in the 1800s where a kid is on a stool in a corner at the front of the classroom wearing a dunce hat. For any of you not knowing what that was, it was a cone-shaped thing, usually made of white cardboard or thick paper, and it might have had the word dunce printed on it, and the poor kid wore it as a hat, where the rest of the class could stare at him or her, usually him, and mock him. The objective wasn't just to bring shame upon some child, but the misconception was that enough shame could motivate anyone to start paying attention, work hard, and not be such a failure. We think today how horrid and barbaric that practice was, and rightly so. However, we still carry that failure shame forward today. If a person can't cut the mustard at a job and they get fired for incompetence or general failure to perform, the shameful stigma on that person is huge. Even if it isn't his or her fault and everyone knows a company is just covering their assets, it might be hard for that person to pick up another job right away. People want to know why they were let go. People want to hear the unvarnished truth, where that person took responsibility for it and what they learned from the experience. That is, if they have the opportunity to interview anywhere. It takes persistence to overcome that kind of experience. And so we have this unrealistic viewpoint that is black and white, good or bad, oversimplified concept of success good, failure bad. So let's go back to my initial question, which was, what did it feel like when you failed? Notice that I didn't ask whether or not you failed, because if you have made any effort at anything at all, you will have at some point stumbled through a failure or 2 or 3 or 20. Failure hurts. Failure is embarrassing. What we tell ourselves can be debilitating, or it can be motivating. Failure can set us back, or it can propel us forward. Failure can cause us shame, or it can burn in the gut with determination. The failure event isn't the issue. It's what you tell yourself about that failure event that makes all the difference in your life and to your future. At this point in my own life, I have learned that there is a failure guarantee. I don't mean that if I fail, I have a guarantee to fall back on, like with a guarantee on a product. Just today, I was trying to write this podcast script on a little mini PC that I bought about 6 weeks ago. It wouldn't boot up. I just kept getting the same basic setup screen that comes up when it can't find a hard drive. So I did an online chat, then had a phone call, then I got a return authorization for a failed drive, and I'm returning the whole mini PC. Failure. And that product had a 90-day guarantee, so I'm getting a refund and moving on. However, that's not the kind of failure guarantee I'm talking about in terms of failure in life. The failure guarantee I am talking about, and that you can count on as well, is that my lifetime of failures has brought me to where I am, and I am guaranteed that I will fail again. Maybe sooner, maybe later, but it is a guarantee that I will fail, and so will you. I'm not calling myself a failure, and I'm not calling you a failure. I am saying that I have a pencil with an eraser because I can count on the fact that I will make mistakes that need corrected. My PC keyboard has a backspace key and a delete key because I will make mistakes. In life, there is no backspace key, no delete key, and no eraser. You fail, and there it is, right there for God and everybody to see it. Is what it is. And it is your best effort to relentlessly pursue your goals and dreams. You failed. So what? That's just one thing that didn't work. Try another one. I am guaranteed that life will serve me up another experience of failure of lesser or greater magnitude, and I will eat it for lunch. I will devour it. I'm not asking for it, but I am ready for it when it comes, because it will. Every single successful person has gotten where they are after countless failures, and in fact, every single successful person has failed more often than any unsuccessful person. The reason is that unsuccessful people don't try enough, and they quit. They give up after one or two failures because it's just too hard. Or they don't even try at all because they tell themselves in advance that it isn't going to work and they're going to fail. What I think would be too hard is to look at myself in a mirror and try to convince myself that overcoming my failures was too hard and that I deserved to give up. Well, that's not just hard, that's impossible. I've failed at least 100 times in my lifetime, and yet here I am, still standing, still relentlessly pursuing my goals and dreams, and not one of those failures was the end of my story. The same will be true for you if you choose to eat your next failure for lunch and continue to tell yourself that you cannot lose. You cannot lose because all of creation is conspiring in your favor, and you cannot lose because the universe always has your back. Playwright George Bernard Shaw once said, "When I was young, I observed that 9 out of 10 things I did were failures. So, I did 10 times more work."
Thank you for taking the time to listen today. Please help keep this podcast going by following the Motivational Devotional Facebook page, following @Threefold Way Radio on Twitter, and sharing the written format of today's message from motivational-devotional.com on your social media. I am deeply grateful for your support, and thank you for letting Motivational Devotional be part of your journey. Peace out. See you tomorrow.
Motivational Devotional is in production of Threefold Way Radio, LLC.